Hey, today I'll be talking about episodes 18 through 21 of The Double. Ali makes it back to her hometown, and it is a desolate sight, nothing like her memories. The stores are boarded up, the people are starving in the streets. How did all of this happen in only 6 months? They find a hostel/gambling den, and even in this shitty place, the cost per night is outrageous. The owner says it's because 70% of the profits go straight to the local government. He has no choice if he wants to keep the place running. Third uncle gets himself arrested on purpose so that Ali has an excuse to go see the new magistrate, introducing herself as Jiang Li. This man used to work under her father, so of course he recognizes her, scoffing that anyone with eyes could see that she is Xue Li. Thank you. But she manages to bluff her way through, daring him to take the chance and offend her powerful father. He folds, toadying and declaring that he is at her service. Well then, one uncle, please. On their way out, an old woman hands Ali a handkerchief with the name of a place on it. Ali knew her when she was a teen and she clearly recognized her as well, so she decides to go and meet with her. Knowing the new magistrate will be having her followed, she switches clothing with Tong'er so she can walk around as a servant. They don't fall for it though. Also, from what we've seen of this town, it's no surprise that it's not a safe place for a young lady to be walking alone.
小美娘，一个人呐。
So I have to ask, as smart as you are, what was your plan here, girl? So yeah, luckily, Duke-soo saves her. They go on a date and I am so with this little girl, like, excuse you, can you find a room? The plan is to make the men following her think she only disguised herself so she could sneak about with her lover, and this time they do fall for it, going back to report, leaving Ali free to go about her business. She meets with the old woman, who did indeed recognize her, crying and telling her she has to get out of here as soon as possible. Ali says she's not going anywhere, she's here to prove her father's innocence. Galvanized, the lady says she's ready to fight with her. Duke-soo and Ali continue to talk, and it turns out that their interests are aligned once again. He needs to investigate this illegal gold mine, but it seems impossible without a map of some sort. A map? I have a map! It's the map Cheongja gave her, and it's just what they needed. In exchange, Ali needs a ride. Some of her father's old subordinates are being kept in the mines, and she needs to get in contact with them. She tells him that based on his actions, it's clear that he is under the Emperor's orders to investigate and eventually take down the Li family. Both her paternal and maternal families are bitter enemies with the Li family, so if he continues to help her, she could become a valuable chess piece for him. It's solid reasoning, undercut by some unnecessary crying at the end. I'm kind of disappointed that's what it took to convince him. He should have been convinced by the merits of her argument alone. He agrees to let her come. Meanwhile, her dad.
突然之间，一个几乎和你女儿一模一样的江二娘子凭空出现。这小小的怀乡何时这么热闹过呀？
The old man has been having a rough time under his old subordinate. Not liking all these new developments, the new magistrate has decided to stop torturing him and finally move his execution date up. Meanwhile, the Li family gets the news that Duke-soo and Jiang Li are in Huaixiang and figure they must be onto them, looking into their gold mine. And right they are. Su and Ali sneak into the mines, knocking out some guards and stealing their clothes. They find the Li family's men illegally mining from an imperial mine that was closed due to instability. So what they did is they made their own opening to take the gold, with no one being the wiser since it was meant to be closed. They are stealing from the crown itself, a capital offense. Since her brother had the map, it seems safe to assume he and her father knew about this, and that is why the Xue family had to be eliminated.
情况，薛家三口，沈玉柔，长公主，原来这一切都有关联。
They wait for a quiet moment, and still in disguise, Ali tracks down her father's men. She says she's here to save everyone, that she has herself a new identity and the power to protect them. They plan to make their escape. Unfortunately for them, just then, the bodies of the men whose clothes they took are discovered. They end up having to fight their way out, and I am very impressed with these two guys who no doubt have been starved and beaten half to death. I guess mining is a good workout though. The new magistrate realizes he's been tricked. That girl must indeed have been Xue Li, and there's no doubt what she's here to do. Not only that, there's no way she was working by herself. They find out about the old lady sending her information. They torture her to get her to talk, and she ends up having to confess.
那天他跟我说，
Hell yeah, lady! It is a pretty brutal death scene, but in the end, she doesn't give anything up. Meanwhile, Duke-soo and Ali manage to get out with the information they need, and 4 men they manage to save from the mine. The way they kept bringing up the instability of the mine, I thought we were gearing up for a giant mine collapse, but I suppose that would have cost a lot of money. They take a quick breather to wash off the grime from the mine, and that night return to Huaixiang, officially, as Duke Su and Jiang Li. All their ducks are in a row, they have all the evidence they need, and they're ready to arrest the new magistrate. But he doesn't look all that worried. Oh yeah, kinda forgot about him. He takes her dad at knife point, wondering out loud if Xue Li will let her father die or simply let him be on his way. It's a classic hostage scene. He wants a jet, a carriage, and $1 million in unmarked bills, untraceable gold. He promises to disappear, though they'd better make it quick before his hand slips. Su agrees, telling his men to load up the requested carriage. They stand aside as he takes her father and his men and makes his escape.
我信你。